Your school is doing two things wrong. Number one, finding and attracting qualified students. Number two, retaining the students that you currently have. Most schools are having challenges with attracting and retaining students because they're relying on outdated models of marketing. And what that means is schools are relying on word of mouth marketing, or they're relying on one modality of marketing. That could be either relying on a website that is geared towards its existing faculty, students, and parents. It's not really geared towards marketing, or they're relying on social media marketing, or they're relying on SEO in and of itself. Now, what schools need to do is they need to think about how to shift from the single modality marketing to combining all of these other channels to make sure that they're showing up online when parents are doing searches. On a parent or student journey to find a new school, they're doing searches in multiple places, right? They might go out and do a quick search on Google for best private school near me or schools with entrepreneurship programs. And then what they're doing after that is they're visiting the website. They might read a blog post, or they might go and look at a school's social media presence. And if you're not showing up in multiple places, what they're going to do is they're going to find schools that are showing up in multiple places. And what that does, it develops trust with them. And then they're more likely to reach out to you for a phone call, to schedule an appointment, or to fill out an application. Parents and students searching for schools today is much different than it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago, right? In the past, people would ask someone they knew, a colleague or a friend, to get a reference about a school. But now, the first thing that parents and students are doing is they're picking up their phone, or they're logging onto Google and they're doing a search so they can find a school that aligns with their vision and their goals. And if you're not showing up online, you're basically invisible to these students and parents. And what's important about that is your competitors are doing that. Other schools are doing that. They're doubling down on digital marketing. They're investing heavily, so they're showing up. So if you're not doing the digital marketing work in an omni-channel fashion, then your competitors are showing up before you. Omni-channel marketing is combining different strategies to make sure that your school is showing up in multiple places, right? And when I say that, I mean Google Ads, because that is the very first thing that people will find when they do a search for best private school near me. Google Ads are at the very top of the search engine. Below that is the Google Maps pack, so you need to invest in local SEO. And right below that is the organic results. When a student or a parent asks a question online, what they're doing is they're going to Google and they're typing in a search, something along the lines of best school near me, or best high school with a robotics program. And the way that schools can answer those questions is through content. And there's different forms of content. They can be an existing web page, it can be a blog post, it can be a video, it can be an infographic. There are a lot of resources that you can put out there digitally that will get you to the top of search results that answer the questions that parents and students are putting into search engines. If your school doesn't have a digital foundation, then what's happening is parents are doing searches, and the competitor schools that have a strong digital foundation, they're showing up above you, right? You may have a better program, you may have stronger academics, you may have an overall much better school than your competitors, but if you don't have that digital foundation that allows you to show up for Google searches, then parents and students are finding your competitors. What some schools are doing is they're investing a lot of money in a website, and that certainly makes sense. You want to have a website because you can think of it as your digital storefront, right? It's the first thing that people see when they do a search. However, most school websites are geared towards the existing student, family, and teachers, right? It's not built for a marketing perspective. So if you're relying on just your website, that's not showing up for people unless they know what your brand is or what your school is. Other challenges that schools are facing is they think that if you go out to social media and you post, it's going to get in front of the right people. Now, we've tested this at length, and what happens with social media presence is every social media channel has an algorithm, and what that algorithm does is it makes it so your content or your organic posts only go out to a percentage of the people following your page. And more so, what's even more important is the potential families that are trying to find your school, they don't know about your school yet, so they're not following your page, or they don't know about your website. To be a school that is successful with marketing, you need to invest in digital marketing in an omni-channel approach. And what that means is don't rely on one source. Don't rely on just social media. don't rely on just your website. You need to consider showing up in different places. And what that means is investing in perhaps Google Ads, because Google Ads are the first thing that show up when people does a search. If you pay Google, they will put your ads at the top of search results. You also need to think about how you can show up right below the Google Ads. And that means investing in local SEO to make sure you show up in that Google Maps pack. And then you need to come up with a content strategy that makes it so your school shows up as a subject matter expert. The parent journey in finding a school involves upwards of 6 to 7 steps. There is a rule in the world of marketing. It's called the rule of 7. And what that means is, in the example of schools, it means that students and parents are not likely to give you their name or phone number or to sign up for a webinar or to fill out an application unless they trust you. And the way that you build trust is by putting your content out there in multiple places, right? Up to 7, 8, or 9 times. So that means putting blog posts out there. It means putting videos out there. It means investing in ads. And when I say ads, it doesn't mean just Google ads, because with social media, you're only putting your information, your posts out there in front of the people that are following your page. If you want to get the information about your school out in front of a broader audience, you need to consider ads, right? And that means Facebook ads. It means Instagram ads, maybe even TikTok ads. It all depends on the demographics of the audience that you're trying to get in front of. Yeah, so in the past, what parents would do is they would find a school because of possibly word of mouth, or maybe it's a school that they went to. To build trust with parents, you need to make sure that you are developing credibility by helping them to understand what your school does and what benefits your school has over your competitors. And having a website that isn't built for marketing isn't going to do that, right? Having a social media presence that connects with the existing families just doesn't do that, right? Parents and students want to be able to look at multiple schools. And if your school is showing up at the top of search results and you're able to develop trust by showing what your school is all about, the values of your school, and how it aligns with what they are looking for in a school, then you have a much better chance of getting them to take the next step in their journey. I have never heard anyone from any industry, especially in schools, number one, recognize that something that's showing up in a search result is an ad and complain about it. There is research out there that shows that roughly 40% of people don't even see Google ads. If the word sponsor is next to an ad, a lot of people just skip right over it. But that's 40% of people. So that leaves 60% of people that are just looking for some sort of instant gratification, a quick response to their question. And that quick response is a Google ad, because that's the first thing that shows up. And if 60% of people are not ignoring those ads, they're going to click on that because it's the first result. And it's the most important real estate of a search result. At VujaDay, we help schools to build digital foundation and online presence that attracts more students. And to do that, we create data-driven omni-channel marketing strategies that involve, number one, an optimized website. Number two, SEO, right? Search engine optimization, Google ads, social media marketing, email marketing, and more. And so here's a private school that we are working with in Pennsylvania. So when we started working with the school, they were getting roughly 480 visits per month. Now they're up over 3,500. And what that means is all of these visits basically can result in not just web traffic, but conversions. And a conversion is basically when someone visits your website and then moves on to either fill out an application or make a phone call or visit the school. So the potential going from 400 visits per month to 3,500 is tremendous. It's roughly a 620% increase over time. The value associated with that is monumental. To build on that omni-channel conversation, in addition to the organic work that we've done with that school, we've done paid ads, right? And here is some data covering 2024. Right. In January of 2024 to December 31st of 2024, we recorded 230 conversions. And basically what that means is someone sees a Google ad and then they click on the ad and they either make a phone call or they fill out an application. So if someone's paying for a private school, they're paying $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to go to that school. We've converted 230 people, right? That doesn't mean that we've gotten them 230 additional students in 1 year, but what it means is if even just a percentage of them are turning into students, the return on investment is significant, right? Industry standard for conversion is somewhere around 2 to 3% for Google Ads. We're up over 6%. Here's another school that we're working with in right outside of Philadelphia. It is a charter school, and we just started working with them in the summer of 2024. And if we go back and look at the statistics, they were somewhere around the 2,500 visits mark. We got them up to well over 4,000 visits per month organically. We've also done paid ads with them. And you'll see that the conversion rate over the few months that we've been working with them, 1.3% in the first month that we ran Google Ads. The second month, 7.6%. The third month, 12.5%. Again, that's tremendous because these conversions mean that someone has gone to the website, they've clicked on an ad, and then they've converted into a potential student that's going to attend that school. And then finally, one other school that we started working with them somewhere around 2020. Right. And they were fairly low in terms of the traffic. They were 5,000, 5,500 visits per month. We got them to up over 16,000 visits per month. What's most important about the work that we've done with them is someone was looking for a school that was focused on entrepreneurship in the LA area, and they were just doing searches. They found a couple of blog posts that we wrote. And as a result of reading these blog posts and learning more about the entrepreneurship program at that school, they donated $1 million to the school. $1 million, which if we didn't do any other work or bring in any other leads aside from that, the return on investment for a $1 million donation, again, is significant. When you invest in an omni-channel strategy, it ensures that you're showing up in multiple places. It builds credibility. If a parent goes on and does a search for something along the lines of best private school near me, if you're showing up in multiple places, if you show up with a Google ad, and then right below that, you show up in the Maps pack, and below that, you show up organically because you have blog posts or optimized web pages that answer their questions, you become much more credible than a school that is only showing up on number 2 of a Google search result, or they're showing up in the Maps pack. If you're showing up in one place and your competitors are showing up in multiple places, it's much more likely that they're going to click on the website that they've seen in multiple places. Parents and students are searching for schools online right now, and if you're not showing up in the top of search results, then you're basically invisible to them. Reach out to VujaDay, give us a call, fill out a form on our website, and we will perform a free analysis for you to outline the challenges and opportunities to make sure that your competitors are not showing up in front of you.